Before we begin, please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices or place them in the vibrate mode for the duration of the ceremony. You will be given cues to rise and be seated at the appropriate times. As a reminder, this is considered an indoor ceremony. During the singing of our national anthem, everyone must stand. Military members will stand at attention, while our civilian guests may place their right hand over their heart. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the retirement ceremony honoring Master Sergeant Sean J. Murphy. I am Master Sergeant Martin Seebach, and I will be narrating today's event. The men and women of the United States Air Force, in keeping with one of the oldest traditions in military service, pay special tribute to Sergeant Murphy on this occasion, culminating nearly 21 years of unwavering devotion to duty and exemplary service to our great nation. Presiding over today's ceremony is the Deputy Chief, Aircraft and Munitions Maintenance Division, Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Baldwin. At this time, we would like to recognize some of our distinguished guests with us today. Director of Logistics, Installations and Mission Support, Pacific Air Forces, Brigadier General Evan Miller. Chief, Aircraft and Munitions Maintenance Division, Colonel Marcus Novak. Master Sergeant Murphy would like to welcome all branch chiefs, chief master sergeants, co-workers, family and friends to today's ceremony and thank them for sharing in his last official Air Force event. And finally, we'd also like to offer a warm aloha to Master Sergeant Murphy's wife Tracy and their children in attendance, Corey and Kaylee. At this time, please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Master Sergeant Lara Merzia from the Band of the Pacific.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Master Sergeant Merzia. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Baldwin.
All right, Sean had two requests of me today. First, to keep it short, it's above 68 degrees, it's above 20% humidity, and he's already got his UV intake for the day, and he's asking me to help him out there. And then he also didn't want a repeat of Chief Kersey's retirement ceremony if it directed at him, so I think I can meet him on both fronts there. General Miller, Colonel Novak, co-workers from across 847, friends from the base, and of course the family of Sean Murphy. Thank you for coming out today. To the family, I know you kind of came late into his career, but it still doesn't mean he didn't take part in helping him out and making him who he is, and giving him all the support he needed at home so he could give us the support we needed at work. So thank you for coming out for that. I know it's a big day for him. You should be proud of his service, as we are as well. So Sean and I, we've had about a year together now, and like everybody else in A4M, I give a lot of ribbon to him, usually about two things. One's the Patriots, and that will never stop because they suck, and there's no denying that. Secondly, we talk about his job or his career field quite a bit, and as a standard maintainer thing, you want to give female guys a hard time about their career field, and are they really maintainers or not? Should they even wear the badge? I don't know. But I gotta say, I was looking at his EPRs from the last 20 years and 10 months, and I gotta say, I take all that back. Not about the Patriots, they still suck, but about the maintainer stuff. When I look, the things that you affected, the outcomes that you were a part of, and just to give kind of scope to what he was doing at OSON, he was supporting 180 work centers, and those aren't just maintenance work centers, those aren't just Air Force work centers, those are across the DoD and everywhere else. 7,300 items that they were working on. Travis, it was 235 work centers, 8,500 items. Holloman, it was 9,600 items. And then now is the fam here up at PACAF for PMEL, overseeing 9 PMEL locations, and you see the scope of things that they do. I forgot, it's every DoD organization, 390 government and DoD agencies across the spectrum of services, DoD agencies, 57,000 items that PMEL guys support. And then you peel that back a little bit further, and every EPR I saw was something about did an expedited CAL to make some event happen, either a deployment, a real world O&E mission, go on, things like that. And I remember those days of signing those letters, and I know what that really means. That means that the customer failed to schedule and plan, and you had to jump through your grommet to make it happen. And so on behalf of all fellow maintainers, I want to thank you for doing that for us, and I welcome you back into the crowd and the herd. So thank you. When I talked to Sean about his career, and I asked him what was the most important thing for you that when you look back, and he said, at Holloman, when I was there, I was doing assistant first sergeant duties, and that's where I really found my niche, taking care of people, and that was it for me. That was my epitome of my career. And I look back, and I gotta say, I kind of disagree with you, because when I go back to the very beginning, there's things in your EPRs that show that you were taking care of your fellow airmen and doing what was asked of you from the very beginning. At Shaw, you assisted the local community in a major accident response exercise, going out there, and they got to throw you around and treat you bad. And you were on honor guard and supporting your local community and the fallen soldiers that came before you. Dover, you stood up the Airmen Against Drunk Driving program, and this is huge because it's one of those things we always deal with every day, and we try to avoid. Credited with 350 saves and a 75% reduction in the base's DUI rate. At Travis, you got asked to be the RA. That's a thankless job that nobody wants, and your only saving grace is if the commander doesn't go to jail. That's your proof of action. And I know the guy, he didn't go to jail, so you must have done a good job in that, and I appreciate it. I'm sure he's happy too. And Yokota, they asked you to be the UFPM. You stepped up again, helping your fellow airmen stay fit and ready to do what's asked of them. Of course, being a first sergeant, we know what that goes into that every day, helping other people, working with their issues and getting them straight so they can do their job. And then even here, we see it, we've seen it personally. Every time there's an event, every time there's something asked of him, he jumps forward and is the first guy to say, I'll do it, pick me. And so I want to thank you for that. So I wish you the best of luck. Going up to New Hampshire, you're going to go back to your roots and be a PMEL guy for real. Get out of the sunlight and in a climate-controlled environment. And I hope for you and your family the best of luck in the future. Send us a note when you get there. Tell us how deep the snow is. And we'll be looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Baldwin. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as Lieutenant Colonel Baldwin presents Master Sergeant Murphy with the Meritorious Service Medal. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Meritorious Service Medal to Master Sergeant Sean J. Murphy for meritorious service from 18 January 2013 to 31 December 2014. Master Sergeant Sean J. Murphy distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Command Precision Measurement Equipment Laboratory Functional Manager, Maintenance Division, Directorate of Logistics, Installation and Mission Support, Headquarters, Pacific Air Forces, Joint Base, Pearl Harbor, Hickam, Hawaii. During this period, Sergeant Murphy directed a $9.2 million contract overseeing 87,000 maintenance actions, supporting over 390 Department of Defense agencies, ensuring the system accuracy for 330 aircraft totaling $17 billion. Additionally, he spearheaded a repair network integration initiative where he identified metrics to provide enhanced capability reporting. This effort led to transferring 115 equipment assets from Eielson Air Force Base to Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, saving $1 million. Finally, Air Combat Command requested Sergeant Murphy by name to assist with Air Force-wide contract sourcing. The strategic actions of Sergeant Murphy led to the consolidation of 33 contracts valued over $234 million to the Acquisition Management and Integration Center. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Murphy culminates a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Please remain standing for the reading of the retirement orders.
Publish the orders.
Department of the Air Force, Washington, District of Columbia, Special Order Number AC-014571. By order of the Secretary of the Air Force, Master Sergeant Sean J. Murphy is retired from active duty effective 1 January 2015 with 20 years and 10 months of faithful and honorable duty. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Lieutenant Colonel Baldwin will now present the Certificate of Retirement to Master Sergeant Murphy. The Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Master Sergeant Sean J. Murphy, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of January 2015. Signed, General Mark A. Welsh, Chief of Staff, and General Herbert J. Carlisle, Commander, Pacific Air Forces. Master Sergeant Murphy will now be presented a Certificate of Appreciation from the President of the United States. It reads, Certificate of Appreciation for Service in the Armed Forces of the United States. Master Sergeant Sean J. Murphy, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contributions of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in your future. Signed, Barack H. Obama, Commander-in-Chief. Master Sergeant Murphy also received a Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, our top enlisted member, and it reads, I am proud to join your friends and family in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Air Force. The achievements and contributions you have made throughout your career are indicative of the core values of our great service. Your retirement is well deserved, but your selfless contributions will be sorely missed. On behalf of all airmen, thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our nation. As this chapter in your life closes, a new one begins. I hope the years ahead are filled with more great memories and continued success. Signed, James A. Cody, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. Now I'll ask Sean's wife Tracy to please join us. The retirement lapel pin is a prized possession of an Air Force retired member. It is symbolic of 20 years or more of honorable service to our country. Retirees wear this pin proudly to signify their contributions to America's welfare and security. Thank you, Tracy. We now have some special presentations to make. Mr. Pete Ramirez, would you please come forward? Pete is presenting Master Sergeant Murphy with a shadow box. This shadow box represents nearly 21 years of service in defense of our nation. The United States flag contained within was flown over the USS Arizona on Memorial Day 2014. The certificate reads, Certificate of Flag Presentation to Master Sergeant Sean J. Murphy in honor of your dedicated service, 1 March 1994 to 31 December 2014. In tribute to the American fighting men killed during the attack on Pearl Harbor, the National Ensign flies continuously from a flagpole mounted to the battleship USS Arizona BB-39. During the hours of darkness, the flag is illuminated. The battleship, resting in 39 feet of water, is no longer in commission. It was stricken from the active list in 1942. Special permission was granted by the Secretary of the Navy to fly the United States flag over the ship in memory of the brave men killed during the attacks on the morning of December 7, 1941. The United States flag accompanying this certificate was raised and lowered on the Arizona Memorial on 26 May 2014 at 0931. Signed, Paul Dupre, Superintendent, World War II, Valor in the Pacific National Monument, and Richard L. William, Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy Commander, Navy Region, Hawaii.
Before I give Sean his shadow box, I wanted to say a couple of things. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of how small the female career field is. Sean's one of about 700 GIs left in our career field. Because we're so small, the reputation you earn over your time in the Air Force follows you everywhere, be it good or bad. I'm not sure what the significance of this is, but I had to call this guy off the top of a mountain to get him to come to Hawaii. So apparently he's got a pretty good reputation. So with that, Sean, in commemoration of almost 21 years of service, grip here. Congratulations to you and best of luck to you and your family and as you put it, life 2.0.
Yes, certainly.
Thank you, Pete. Next, Colonel Novak will be making a presentation from the Aircraft and Munitions Maintenance Division.
Well, Sean, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now, it took a lot for us to get F-22s in coordination with the submarine. You probably didn't see because
There was a sub.
They were right by at the same time. And then you were stationed at Osan twice. Korean Airlines went over first, right? So, it took a lot. It's a joint effort. And,
Well, I do appreciate all the hard work that went into that. And I can only imagine.
well, the video will come out really well. With the submarine going by, that was precious. So, anyway, let me pass this on to you, Sean. Thank you for all your dedicated service. You've done an outstanding job. We're sorry that you're going to go up and shovel snow for a living now, but you know, Tracy promises that after the first year you can get a snowblower.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But anyway, but thank you so much for
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Colonel Novak. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present Master Sergeant Sean J. Murphy, United States Air Force, retired.
All right, I promise I'll make this as short and sweet as possible. Hopefully the food's already out there so we can have a little eats. General Miller, Colonel Novak, appreciate you both coming out here. I know you both have extremely busy schedules, so I understand that taking even a little bit of time out of your day can be very difficult, so thank you for coming. Thank you to branch chiefs, co-workers, everyone else for coming out. A big thank you to, and I'm not sure, Senior Master Sergeant Chalette, Sergeant Manabog, Sergeant Seabach, Sergeant Worcester for all your help today getting this squared away. Never really had an intention of joining the Air Force. I went to college for about a year and a half and had thought that my life was going to be all planned out. I was going to be a math and physics major, maybe go be a teacher or something like that. But somewhere in my sophomore year, I decided that partying and drinking was more important. So with a 0.5 GPA, they said, see you later. So I joined the Air Force with a $40,000 student loan bill behind me, and I figured, okay, I'll do my 4 years, get my GI Bill, reapply to Susquehanna University where I went, and see if I can finish my degree. Before that was all said and done, I was married, had 2 kids, and life said, no, you're gonna stay in for a little bit longer. You know, after that marriage and my 2 older kids, Philip, who's 19, and Tori, who's 18, they're getting ready to move out into their life and hopefully not make the same mistakes I did when I was younger. I basically came down with the premise that we can make all the plans we want, but sometimes life decides to make the plans for us. And that's how I ended up with nearly 21 years here. So, you know, keep that in mind when you think that everything's going your way. Murphy's Law will strike out at you and alter your course. Nearly 5 years ago, Tracy and I got married, and it's been the best 5 years so far anyways. We'll see what happens beyond, but Corey, Kaylee, thank you so much for putting up with me and dealing with my lack of growing up, I guess is the best way to put it. Tracy, you've sacrificed so much to be here. Her older boys stayed back in New Hampshire while she decided to go to Holloman Air Force Base, which, if any of you have ever been there, that is the biggest sacrifice any family member can ever make. But thank you to Pete for rescuing us and getting us out of what I affectionately called Hellamaghetto, and bringing us out here to Hawaii. It's been an amazing journey. Can't wait to reunite you with your older boys. We'll get out of here. I'll go shovel snow. So thank you all very much, and I'm out of here. Thank you.
Please be seated. On this occasion, the Air Force has returned a true friend and leader to our society, which once again gains a fine citizen. We wish you the best of luck and the warmest wishes as you begin your new phase of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Lieutenant Colonel Baldwin and Master Sergeant Murphy, thanks again for attending this special ceremony. Master Sergeant Murphy invites you to join us for a reception in the Valhalla Gardens behind us immediately following the departure of the official party. Please rise for the playing of the Air Force song, followed by the departure of the official party.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, soon to meet our thunder. Atta boys, give her the gun, give her the gun. Down we die, spouting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roll. We live in fame, go down in flames. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.